Okay, we're just going to have a look at some pictures I've been trying to make of the planets. Venus was a little too low in the sky, and Mars was also low in the east, and so we're looking through a lot of atmosphere. So I just included here one picture of Mars, which is undergoing a violent dust storm, as you know, at the moment. So it was difficult to get a clear picture of that planet, but on the 13th of July, Friday night, I imaged Jupiter and Saturn. Did my best to get a good image using FireCapture initially. This is one of the raw files of Jupiter. This is what it looks like through the telescope. Had very good seeing on Friday night. Very cold, below 0 centigrade. Pretty cold conditions. It was a little hard to find the planet actually through the finder scope of the telescope. But we got rid of that wind, we got rid of the cloud that we had last week, and now we got the planets up there. Now, I took several raw image files for usually 90 seconds to 120 seconds, usually 1,000 to 2,000 images, exposure about 3 to 6 milliseconds each. In FireCapture, then process those raw video files through Registack 6. And these are the results here. Here we've got Jupiter, and below it one of its moons, with a great red spot there, of course. And I've just put the final image from Registack 6 into Windows Photos, and just played around with the contrast and brightness, and sometimes use the filter, burlesque or Napa filter. Here I've used a burlesque filter. Here there's just the planet. You've got the limb darkening there, and this is I was quite happy with this picture. We came out with not just a great red spot, but quite a few small white spots as well, as you see there in the northern hemisphere. And then I imaged Saturn, the same method. And here we've got the planet. This is in original natural colors. The planet's slightly sort of brownish red, and the rings not showing a lot of color. The A ring sort of gray, then the gap, and then the B ring sort of wider and whiter. And you can see the shadow of the rings on the planet and the shadow of the planet on the rings at the back. This is a planet here in natural colors, where the planet looks slightly reddish, sort of a rusty red color. And here I've used that filter again, this time the Napa filter in photos, just to try and bring out a little more detail, and also flip the planet and tried to get a better aspect to fit in the screen better, and slightly adjust the brightness and contrast. And here's Mars, which, as you see, is totally covered, pretty well covered in the dust storm. You can see the poles, north and south poles, and a slight bit of detail, darker color detail in the middle there, but around the equator, but really not showing a lot of detail on Mars at the moment. A bit disappointing was Mars. Thanks a lot for your attention.